wild. I'm here at Canoe Beach in Cornwall and I'm here to review a folding canoe. It's called MyCanoe Duo and it fits inside my tiny car. Ta-da! So this is a two-man canoe which weighs around just under 20 kg and it can carry up to 220 kg, which is about 4 of me. I've just walked about 100 metres from the car and I'm quite tired. It's quite heavy, but totally doable. I've swapped sides a few times, had a few rests, but I can still do it on my own, which is good. This has a life, according to MyCanoe, of 20,000 folds. So that's 20,000 trips on the water, and it's made of a double-layered marine-grade polypropylene, which is pretty bomb-proof, but also malleable enough to be able to move it through its folds.
After a few practices, it now takes me just over 5 minutes to set up the canoe on my own, and it's even faster with the help of someone else, which is amazing. You will, however, notice my semi-deliberate mistake in this setup in that I failed to tuck the ends of the gunnels under the front and back edges of the canoe. Thankfully, it didn't affect the stability of the canoe at all. In fact, it's super stable, but it did affect the tracking slightly. So once I'd figured it out and got it set up properly, it was cruising along much, much nicer. So our first little outing in the MyCanoe Duo has been rather delightful. We've had epic conditions. It's the most glassy water. We're on the Helford River in Cornwall today. As you can hear probably and see, it's pretty windy. Although it has calmed down a bit since we first got on at the mouth of the estuary, which was probably 15 to 20 mile an hour winds and a swell of up to 2 foot, I would say. The canoe dealt with the swell with absolute no problems. Going across the swell, the stability was amazing, and then with the swell behind us, pushing us upstream, it just cruised along. I think there was a little bit of flex in the canoe actually, which was probably a good thing because it didn't feel like we were jerking down the swell as it took us. Really, really pleased with that, and haven't had the stability, extra stability things on that you can get. Haven't felt the need for them. Been really pleased with how great it feels, to be honest. Tomorrow, paddling back upwind might be a different story, but we shall see. So we're actually going upstream here, camping overnight. So we have a fully packed boat, and we've still got loads of room at the front. I've got a whole other dry bag, and we've got a big one in the middle. Again, could have another one here if we needed, and then more room behind the seat where we've got just a tool bag currently under water. The only negative of having a loaded boat is when you're lifting it out of the water, it tends to buckle ever so slightly. So we've been having to lift it from the middle, either side, and kind of lift drag to prevent that slight buckling. Otherwise, 2 thumbs up for canoe camping so far. As it turned out, the headwind was no problem the day after. But I wouldn't want to capsize in this thing, especially carrying extra gear for camping. Though it does float fine when it's swamped, the extra weight of the gear could cause some problems when trying to right it.
So the seats can be a little bit clunky to set up. Once you know how to do it, they're actually really easy. But a really good tip is to make this bend a bit more flexible before you try and set it up. In fact, both of these bends. So really get on top of it, this one, and then the same on this one, especially this one. And do this before your first few uses. it'll just make fitting it together that much easier. So once you've done that, you pull these straps around and Velcro them down, and then you've got a pretty rigid little seat. And then clipping it in, you want to match up, there's these little paddle symbols. Make sure they're both facing the same direction. And then you put the little screw bits into the brackets and slide backwards, and they will click into place actually quite easily. Taking the seats off is really, really easy. There's these little toggles here. You simply pull it back and then shift it so that the fixings come out of the brackets, and then pull it away from the side of the boat. Again, you might need to loosen these straps just to give the whole boat a bit of leeway, and then you can do the same on the other side.
Though it does seem to excel in choppy and rough conditions, it paddles like a dream in calm waters too. It turns quickly, glides with ease, tracks pretty well, and is also really comfortable to sit in. And finally, packing up the canoe is even easier than setting it up and takes me just over a minute to do on my own. So there you have it, the MyCanoe Duo. It's super stable, it's packable, it's carryable on my own, it fits in my tiny car, and I love it.